this ball right here, right?
Okay.
I believe, because you bought the
Yes.
that
Yeah.
has
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'm about to have
All three
sizes?
sizes?
Yeah.
Cool. So this is the smallest one. So the first thing is just to do your arch.
Okay.
And you can step on it, like right on it on different parts of your arch. And just keep lookout for sensitive parts and try to keep your toes. Right. So
I'm
maybe,
like, how is she crunching on it? Like.
so maybe stepping is not yet for you.
Okay.
What you would do then is just kind of put your heel down, toe up, see if you can relax your foot, and just roll from side to side gently. And if you find a spot that's like the spot, then stay there and start to embody yourself, slow your breath down, put your attention down in the ball. It's kind of this magic thing where your soft tissue can become a real energetic release practice when you start to do all the rest of the work during your soft tissue practice. Just the embodying, the sensing, the attention, the breath, the openness can all happen to each cell at this really little level. So a lot of time can be spent here in each arch. And you can, even with your feet is one of the more challenging places, but you can send breath down into the ball. And once you find a spot, you can apply a little bit more pressure, and you would kind of scrub it by rubbing your foot back and forth. And you can also pin it and spin it, like we did with the ball on your belly.
It's a lot.
Right, and if it's a lot, just less pressure. Like,
Okay.
no need to go. You can hold on to a wall here and like barely touch it. So you want to stay in that sweet spot where you can still breathe, where you can still sense yourself.
I can't get over how sensitive it is.
Yeah, I mean, feet get really sensitive, and your feet are your eyes on the ground. So your every joint above is listening for messages from your feet, is what's happening. And when your feet get really sensitive like that, they're not sending messages properly, we have to have shoes on, then the joints above aren't getting this information about the ground, and they don't really know how to behave. So it really is like a Dom as above, so below effect for sure. When the joints become sticky or blind, then they don't, we lose the ability to react to the world in multi-planar motion, and it becomes lots of this and lots of tightness. So after the arch, there's a specific spot that's going to be really challenging for you. So I just want to make sure for you that you hold on to a wall for sure, and then you try to get a little bit of pressure, a little bit of weight on this outside edge of your foot. Over time, this will start to look like this. Your feet will change. Your whole body will change because of this. Your feet will become more, over time, like to where that, or for me, that green ball, I can't really feel anything. So if I want to do my feet, I'm going to go into this way harder ball. But for you, it's going to be a little different for right now, a little cincy. And then this drill is more for your ankles than your foot. And it's that same Tai Chi twist motion we're doing, like this. You're actually just trying to wave your whole foot and leg over the ball. You can see, because I have shorts on, that this is affecting all the way up into my hip. And so what you're trying to do is just move slow and see if you can feel movement in your ankle, movement in your knee, movement in your thigh, and then a little bit of input. I could even follow it like the Tai Chi twist. You see how it's the exact same motion? Just adding it and accentuating how it comes from the foot. So the next spot, and this one's really specific, interestingly, is right here. This is the calcaneus bone right here on the heel. And it kind of ends, like, the heel looks like it goes really far, but it kind of actually like dips in right here. So this spot right here, there's almost all of your fascia lines in your whole body run underneath there or hook in there in some way. So the reason you might not feel like this is a lot here, some people, like, they hit that, they're just gonna step the ball, step your foot on it. And some people, they will feel so much tension. And it's just like, what the hell? Because those fascia lines are all running there. Some people don't feel anything.
For me, it's a little further up.
A little further up. Okay, Perfect.
up into my arch, but that feels really good.
So you do, whether you feel a ton right here or not, you still want to do it because
Right.
that's like your spiral line, your lateral line, your front line, your back. They all go under there at some point
Wow.
and hook on right there. So you're kind of doing maintenance all the way above with that. And I like to just kind of scrub from side to side and from front to back like I'm scrubbing a dish. And for you put very little weight on it if you need to, for sure. You might feel like some crunchiness,
Yeah.
little like almost balls.
Mm-hmm.
Totally normal. Give me a little more room here. So the next spot is your actual heel bone, the calcaneus bone. And you probably want to hold on to your wall for this one for sure. What you're trying to do is just draw a circle around that bone. And I always have to bend into this knee to really balance and draw that circle. So you might just like get started seeing what it feels like to bend into your other knee so that you can really have, it gives me more control over the ball. And this whole time, I'm just reminding myself over and over, check back into my breath, check back into the tension levels in the rest of your body. Since you're doing soft tissue and standing, you can't fully relax,
Right.
but you can try to soften continuously throughout in your jaw, your brow. Now I don't usually find a spot that I want to like pause here on the heel and put the ball, but I might find a spot I want to scrub.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna kind of
For sure.
get that scrubbing a dirty dish feeling on one of those little crunchy balls. So from this part, you can do the side of your foot right here. This is going to be a really sensitive one for you, which I just think is adorable. I've never met anyone whose side of their foot is sensitive. It's really cute. Not in a demeaning way.
Tomito did a hot stone treatment on him. I was like, yes.
I bet that felt
Because
really
normally
good.
she wants to work it or gouache it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ugh. She goes, I can't. She just cracks up over it too. And she goes, I'm gonna hot stone it today. I was like, yeah. She
Good.
put some kind of smelly oil on it and
Ooh. So
Hot
side of your
stoned
foot
it.
here. See, I'm kind of turning my whole foot sideways. This is a mobility range that you want to work on anyways. Just being able to turn your whole foot up to the side like that. It's your ankle roll position. So if we don't ever strengthen that position, then when we roll our ankle, the body doesn't know what to do. Tendons snap, they're not strong enough, and bad things happen, bones break. So I train the ankle roll position. And then you can do your opposite ankle roll position by turning your foot to face in and just kind of getting this side of the arch right here, which is another big fascial.
this is another big one for me right here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not sensitive like the outside, but it's always tight.
Yeah, for sure.
Like when I go to yoga class and people are doing their stretches before class, I am on my knees stretching my feet.
yeah, or
with my
bring your
toes
ball in.
Turned up. I'm always doing
Yes.
that. That's the thing I always like.
Yeah, same. Hands and feet. Your body is only as strong as your weakest joints. So for me, when I'm warming up, hands, feet, neck. Those are all the weakest. They're the smallest joints. They do the most. They're the most mobile. They're the most dexterous. So more mobility means less stability. More complexity means more can go wrong. So if it's gonna go wrong, it's usually somewhere in these little joints that affects everything above.
Yeah.
Okay, so next spot is the ball of your foot. And I'll put my heel down and the ball on. And the first thing I want you to do is just kind of wave from side to side, the same way you did that Tai Chi twist, where you're looking for your whole leg to rotate. You're looking to get your ankle roll position in this direction, ankle roll position in this direction. And I'm trying to tap as much as I can the sides of my foot on the floor. And then to make that more specific, I kind of slow it down and I'm looking for a twist in my foot from side to side now. What I want to do here is articulate each of my toe bones right here. So you see how you can see I'm pressing into this because it's white on my skin. So I want to see that white on every bone and just sit there and try to press them one-ish at a time. And the whole time you just want to relax your toes. And with this one, I add some flexion. This is called dorsiflexion. So I'm just going to pick one, spread my toes, add some flexion, pick another bone, roll over, spread my toes, add some flexion. You can add more weight like you just did for sure. Eventually you can do stuff where you like try to catch your balance. Lots of toe spreading, lots of flexion adding. And then go on over to your big toe. And there's this spot right here. There's a muscle that's right below and to the side of your big toe. This is one of the muscles or the main muscle that lets your toes spread apart. And so that's important in kickoff when you're walking. And you just want to step on your ball as much as you can. You feel kind of crazy.
It's super tight.
And pin it down. So I'm just going to stay in stillness. You don't have to put a lot of weight on it, but you do want to stay with it pinned and then try to lift and spread your toes. Pin it, lift and spread your toes. And a lot of my students will just keep like these balls at their kitchen and their living room and their desks, like do this maintenance stuff when you're watching TV, when you're doing dishes. Stuff like this is like calf raises where it's like, how many reps do I do? How many times do I do this? 10,000.
It's like, I mean, as many as you want to.
Just keep doing it. It takes so much time for these things to really make a full transformation back into your original foot, because we were put in shoes probably, maybe not you, but like at 2 years old because it was cute, you know?
Right.
Like, so it's going back to the very beginning to maybe something you never had, right? So there's a spot just like this.
I had ankle issues when I was a kid. The story goes I had to get those high top baby shoes.
Yeah.
Or else I didn't walk.
Yeah, your mom said you just started walking very, very, very young.
But they put those shoes, I was trying, and they put those shoes on me, and I got all my stability.
Yeah.
And went.
Yep. So, same thing on the pinky toe side. There's a similar muscle that adducts or pull. Abduct is abduct, pull away.
Okay.
And adduct is add to the midline. So sometimes
Okay.
I use these terms and then I'm like, I gotta define this. So we pin that down, just like you do the big toe side. And it's gonna make it hard to spread your toes, but that's what you're trying to do. You're just resisting into that. It's like a loaded stretch, basically. So I'm kind of breezing through these. You could spend much more time here if you wanted. See, I got that. One thing you can do here on the ball of your foot that's a little advanced but really helpful is try to draw a figure 8 on top of the ball in both directions. You can see I have an awkward direction. Direction I always go and direction I never go. And then next things are for your toesies. So you might have to bend down, totally fine. You want to let's do your big toe first. Put just your big toe on the ball. Rest of the toes go down. I usually have to, especially at the beginning, some people have to bend down and put those other toes down. And then if you can, step where your feet are parallel and then just try to crush that ball with your big toe. And this is just a really important action for kicking off when you're walking. This big toe should have so much power. It's like the last thing to leave the ground when you jump. It's one of the main reasons we can't jump is because it all comes from that spring in the big toe and we've lost it. So jumping becomes a totally different action when you don't have that spring. Just kind of working that. You'll probably feel it connect all the way up to the shin, into the calf. You feel that? Mm-hmm. And then after you do some crushes of the ball, you step your opposite foot either next to the foot or forward. You're just going to try to keep just your big toe on and lift your heel. So this is a stretch through the bottom of your foot.
I was going here naturally.
Sometimes it makes people queasy.
This is what I'm trying to do when I'm trying to stretch my feet out.
Good. Perfect.
I just curl my toes under and sit
on them. Yeah, so this is just doing it like separating them,
yeah.
Doing it one toe at a time. And that, I mean, still do the other, like curling your toes and sit on them. Still spend plenty of time there. That's a great place to work this. So after you do the big toe, get the 3 little toes on, same thing. Crush. Crush. My best friend has 2 sons and she says that all the time. Crush. Crush.
Yeah, I was doing all this stuff in the living room Sunday, and Byron was going, "Is that your body snap, crackle, and popping all over the place?" I'm like, "Yes." He was like, "I want to tell you to stop, but it must feel good."
Floss some joints.
Yeah.
Eventually, most husbands start to catch on to the soft tissue practice of their wives.
Oh,
They're like,
he plays with my
it's
balls.
good. Plays with
He
your balls.
he likes these little ones. He says squeezing them helps him, and I'm like, "What's it helping?" And he said, "I feel like my hands have gotten really weak, and so squeezing them, I feel like it's strengthening it, but I know I know it's connecting things."
Yeah.
I got him these weighted gloves
Uh-huh.
because his hand trimmers aren't as terrible as I've seen on other people, but that's probably the only trimmer you'll ever see on him. His other problems are balance, and that's a big Parkinson's stuff. But I got him these weighted gloves just so he could write a little easier,
Oh,
maybe
cool.
eat a little easier, and he was wearing them even when he wasn't. He said it did something, it quieted something in his brain he couldn't explain.
I have
And I said it's because you're trying to make that connection of where your hands are in space.
Yeah, I have a hand kit. I can send you. They're cheap. They're like $10, and it's got all these little tools he can play with.
Oh, he would
It's
love
got
that.
like
Because
I have
he
it
put those,
somewhere.
he forgot about it and quit doing it.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, "Hey, remember these?" And then he was like, "Oh yeah," and he never picked them up again. But now he likes the balls, so it's just whatever he's fixated on
Right.
is gonna be what works.
Yeah. Whatever he's enjoying. So
Yeah.
we're just going to the other foot now.
Okay.
I'm gonna turn the recording off.